South Carolina Congressman William Timmons is a member of the House Oversight Committee who was at that hearing. Congressman, we heard the Republicans press the Democratic mayors, some tense exchanges there, as we just heard. Mayors like Boston, as Mayor Michelle Wu, and Denver Mayor Mike Johnson, they pushed back and tried to defend their city's municipal policies. But how do you think that this hearing went overall?
I think it was great. We lay the blame exactly where it deserves. President Biden, these mayors did their best to deal with the massive influx of illegal immigrants. It cost taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. And I mean, when you have hundreds of thousands of people coming to your cities, you don't have the ability to deal with them. They did the best they could, but the big thing is, what are we doing going forward? And those mayors need to know that they're going to assist President Trump, they're going to assist ICE with deporting criminal illegals or else.
Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry was also attending the hearing yesterday, sir, and he had some questions for the Chicago mayor about providing this sanctuary for migrants arriving in the city. Let's watch this together.
So you're not welcoming these people that came here illegally?
The individuals that were bused to us from the border.
They were not welcome in Chicago? You didn't welcome them? You didn't provide them sanctuary?
So the Welcome in City ordinance is pretty straightforward. It allows for our local law enforcement to focus on local policies.
And I think, Congressman, that kind of gets at the heart of the matter, right? It comes down to individual cities' decisions, because we aren't seeing these same sort of problems in other cities across the country. It really is just these Democratic-led cities. What do you make of that interaction there?
I mean, they're just trying to justify spending hundreds of millions, billions of taxpayer dollars on non-citizens. Their constituents, the people that voted them in, need social safety nets. And those social safety nets are breaking. They broke over the last 4 years because they didn't have the ability to provide the services to their own constituents. And again, this is Joe Biden's fault. Obviously, President Trump has secured the border through executive action, and we just saw last month the least number of illegals cross the southern border in decades. So Joe Biden could have fixed this the entire time. I think it's important to realize that only one of those mayors stood up to Joe Biden, and that was Mayor Adams. And what happened to him? Joe Biden used his weaponized Department of Justice to persecute him and try to make an example out of anybody that stands up to the Biden administration. Luckily, we've turned the page, and this is all over.
So, Congressman, we did find out through this that in the example of Denver, where they let ICE wasn't allowed to come pick up one of these Venezuelan gang members out of the jail. But now we know that this is happening in these sanctuary cities. What happens next? What's the next play here?
We're going to use federal funding, and we're going to use criminal law to hold these people accountable. They will not continue this behavior. The local law enforcement, the local elected officials will comply with federal law, and they will assist ICE in deporting criminal illegals, or they're going to lose federal funding or even possibly be under investigation by the Department of Justice for violating federal law. It's as simple as that.
All right. That is South Carolina Congressman William Timmons joining us this morning. Thank you, sir. We do appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.